You've probably heard that silence is power, that going quiet will make her miss you, chase you, realize your worth. And yes, it can, but only if done from the right mindset. Because here's the trap: too many men confuse silence with emotional shutdown. They think forget no contact means becoming numb, cold, disconnected. But that's not strength, that's emotional avoidance, and it backfires every time. Silence that comes from pain, fear, or confusion isn't masculine, it's desperate. It's a cover-up, and women feel it. Even if you don't speak, your energy is still loud. So when you pull away with a heart full of chaos, she senses it. You're not detached, you're just hiding. You're not calm, you're wounded. And instead of missing you, she feels the weight of your internal conflict. This is where most men get it wrong. They think emotional stillness is the same as emotional absence. But being emotionally absent only makes you look immature, like you're incapable of handling depth. What you really need is emotional grounding. The kind of stillness that comes from self-control, not suppression. You don't suppress what you feel, you observe it, you own it, and then you use it to rise. See, no contact isn't just about cutting her off. It's about cutting off the need for validation. It's a reset, a training ground. And in that space, your emotions are supposed to be your teachers, not your enemies. If you silence yourself but never understand what you're actually feeling, you're just bottling it up. And one way or another, that bottle bursts. And the worst part, when you come back, you'll still be the same man she walked away from, still reacting, still bitter, still lost in the same emotional loop. That's how you ruin the technique. You walk away physically, but you never truly pull back spiritually. And when your silence comes from a place of pain, it's not attractive, it's repelling. The truth is, emotional maturity is attractive. A man who can feel deeply but remain centered is rare. That's who she thinks about at night. That's who she compares others to. But the one who goes quiet and disappears out of confusion or fear, he becomes forgettable. You never want to be the man she forgets. You want to be the one who mastered himself so deeply in that silence that she can't stop wondering what changed. So stop thinking no contact is about cutting her off. It's about reconnecting with you. Speak less, yes, but understand more. Withdraw, yes, but grow within. Because when your silence becomes your strength, not your shield, that's when the shift happens. And that's the only kind of silence she remembers. Have you ever wondered why some men go no contact and she comes running back, while others get ignored like they never mattered? Here's the truth most won't say out loud. It's not the silence that makes her miss you. It's the reason behind it. If you're going silent just to trigger her, just to spark a reaction, just to see if she'll chase you, you've already lost your power. Because the moment your action is rooted in manipulation, it stops being strength and turns into a silent form of begging. You might not be texting, you might not be calling. But if every second of your silence is secretly hoping she reaches out, then you're not detached. You're obsessed. An obsession, even in silence, is unattractive. Women are intuitive, they feel the why behind what you do. You don't have to say a word for them to sense your motives. And when that motive is control, they withdraw even harder. Men often confuse strategy with games. They think pulling away with the goal of sparking jealousy or panic will shift the dynamic in their favor. But what you're really doing is placing your entire emotional power in her hands. You're making her the center, the target, the outcome. And that energy is never masculine. It's needy, even if it's quiet. You don't go silent to see what she'll do. You go silent to see who you'll become. And that difference, it changes everything. Because when your silence is born from self-respect, not manipulation, it feels different. She can sense it's not about her anymore. And that's what makes her pause. That's what makes her question. That's what creates the emotional vacuum that pulls her back in. But when you're using no contact as a move in your emotional chess game, checking your phone every hour, stalking her stories, rehearsing your future replies, you're still in the relationship. You're just pretending you're not. And that's the problem. Healing can't happen in pretense. Growth can't happen in deception. And attraction can't rebuild if it's built on tactics. The whole point of silence is transformation. To pull away and focus so deeply on your own elevation that whether she comes back or not becomes irrelevant. That's the paradox. She only returns when she feels you don't need her to. But most men don't wait long enough. They get impatient. They check if it's working. And that impatience exposes the game. Women know when your silence is authentic and when it's bait. And trust me, she never bites when it's bait. So if you're thinking of going no contact just to see if she misses you, stop. You're not playing a game. You're playing yourself. The only way this works is when your silence isn't about getting her back, it's about getting you back. And that's the kind of energy no woman can ignore. Most men don't lose because they went no contact. They lose because they broke it at the worst possible time, when their emotions hijacked their logic. And that one moment of weakness, that one text at midnight, that one, "I miss you," when you were just lonely, it undoes everything. This isn't about pretending you don't care. This is about mastering the moments when your mind screams for connection, but your soul knows better. You see, silence is only powerful when it's maintained. But most men crack. They cave the moment the silence starts to feel uncomfortable. They confuse boredom with emotional need. They confuse a memory with destiny. And the next thing you know, they're reaching out, not because they've healed, not because they're centered, but because they want relief from the tension. That's not strength. That's emotional impulse dressed up as vulnerability. Women can feel the difference. When you break no contact from a place of confidence, it lands differently. But when you break it from a place of fear, from emptiness, from hoping she'll say what you want to hear, that energy exposes you. It tells her you're still emotionally dependent on her validation. And no matter how sweet or sincere your words might be, the emotional weight behind them will push her away faster than silence ever could. The danger here is that every time you break it prematurely, you reset the process. The healing, interrupted. The curiosity she was building, destroyed. The respect you were slowly reclaiming, gone. And it's not just about her, it's about you. Every time you chase comfort, you rob yourself of growth, you deny yourself the fire that forges true masculine identity. Because the truth is, no contact isn't about waiting for her to text you first. It's about letting time reveal what's real. It's about using the space not as punishment for her, but as a sanctuary for yourself. But you can't find clarity in that space if you keep interrupting it with emotional noise. You can't gain power if you keep handing it back every time your heart gets loud. This is where discipline matters. When the urge to reach out hits, you sit with it. You don't react, you reflect. You remind yourself that healing isn't linear, and neither is attraction. You learn to endure the silence, because what's on the other side of that silence is a version of you that doesn't need to be reassured to feel whole. And that's the man she remembers. That's the man she reconsiders. So if you feel the need to reach out, pause. Ask yourself, am I reaching from strength or from emptiness? Because the reason behind your words speaks louder than the words themselves. And if it's not coming from strength, it's not time to speak. You say you're done. You say you're moving on. But your eyes are still glued to her Instagram story, your heart still skips a beat when she posts, and you're silently tracking her every move thinking no one notices. But she does. Even if she never says it, even if you've blocked her or she's blocked you, there's an energy that travels louder than words, and she feels every ounce of it. That's the trap men fall into, pretending to walk away while spiritually staying rooted to the same spot. You can't fake detachment. You can't pretend you don't care while constantly refreshing her profile, reading old messages, or mentally rehearsing what you'd say if she texted you. That's not emotional strength. That's obsession in disguise. And obsession, even silent, is transparent. Women are not just watching what you do. They're sensing how you feel. And when you say nothing but radiate longing, they don't feel your power, they feel your pull. A pull that tells them you're still trapped. Real no contact means stepping away with intention. Not just deleting her number, but deleting the need to monitor her. Because here's the truth, when you're watching her every move, you're not focused on your own. When your energy is tied to her updates, her replies, her silence, you've handed over control of your emotional state. That's how you lose yourself while trying to win her back. She doesn't miss the man who watches quietly. She misses the man who evolves loudly in silence, the one who disappeared not out of pain, but out of purpose. The one who didn't just cut her off, but cut off the addiction to needing to know what she's doing. That's how you regain mystery. That's how you regain power. You don't build attraction by hovering in the shadows. You build it by becoming a man who no longer needs to look back. The reason most men fail during no contact isn't that they said too much. It's that they were too available in energy. She could feel he was still orbiting her world. And as long as you're orbiting, she has no reason to chase. Why would she? She already feels your presence without you being present. What creates the emotional vacuum is when your energy vanishes too, when your attention truly shifts inward. So stop watching her. Stop keeping tabs. Stop performing detachment while feeding obsession. If you're serious about no contact, then make it is real. cut the energetic cord, reclaim your focus, and most importantly, reclaim your power, not by showing her you've changed, but by becoming so consumed with your own growth that you forget to check if she's watching, because that's when she starts to. So many men sabotage their progress without even realizing it, not by breaking no contact, but by secretly counting the days, watching the clock, and expecting results on her end. It's been a week. Why hasn't she texted? It's been 2 weeks. Shouldn't she be missing me by now? The second you attach a timeline to no contact, you turn a powerful tool into just another emotional trap. You don't pull away to provoke her. You pull away to forget the need for her reaction. That's the shift most men never make. The harsh truth is this: the ones who wait for her to react are still stuck in the same loop of dependence. It's not about what you say or don't say. It's about the expectations you quietly carry. And women can feel that pressure. They can sense when a man is holding his breath in silence, just hoping she notices. And that energy doesn't pull her closer. It makes her pull further away. No contact is not a countdown. It's not some magical 30-day reset. It's not a formula that guarantees a reaction. The moment you start timing it, you rob it of its raw, masculine energy. Growth doesn't have a deadline. Real detachment doesn't come with a clock. And if you're sitting in silence waiting for a result, then you haven't actually detached, you've just disguised your need. That's why some men stay stuck. They do everything right on the surface, but deep down, they're still hoping for the same outcome. They're still attached to her choices, her emotions, her validation. And until you release that grip, nothing truly changes. Because this technique isn't about getting her back. It's about getting yourself back. That's the part most people skip over. You have to get to a place where her silence doesn't shake you, where her actions don't define you. And you only get there by letting go of the timeline. The paradox is that the moment you stop expecting a reaction is usually when one comes. Because that's when your energy shifts. That's when she senses something is different. Not forced, not faked, but real. And that's what gets her attention. But if you're checking your phone every morning, hoping today's the day, you're not silent. You're waiting. And waiting is just another form of chasing. You might not be sending messages, but emotionally, you're still reaching, and she knows it. That's why nothing happens. Because she doesn't miss you when she knows you're still orbiting her. So let go of the need for a result. Forget the deadline. Forget the idea that this technique should work by a certain date. The real win isn't in her reaction. It's in who you become when you stop needing one. Let me tell you what makes no contact absolutely useless: staying the exact same man during the silence. You cut her off, you stop texting, you disappear from her world, but you're still sitting in the same place emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, just waiting, hoping, scrolling, stuck. And this is the brutal truth. If she comes back and finds the same version of you she left, nothing will change. The attraction won't reignite. The dynamic won't shift. She'll remember exactly why she left. This is the part too many men ignore. They think the magic is in the silence, but it's not. The magic is in who you become while you're silent. No contact isn't a strategy to make her miss you. It's a challenge to rediscover yourself. If you're not upgrading, you're wasting time. She doesn't just want space. She wants to feel a difference when that space closes. And if you haven't changed, her heart won't either. You need to be using this time to build. Build your body. Build your discipline. Build your vision. You should be hitting the gym, chasing your purpose, locking in your habits, developing your mind. You should be so focused on yourself that her absence becomes irrelevant. And that's the paradox when she feels that you're not watching her anymore, not emotionally circling her anymore, not basing your worth on her attention anymore. That's when she starts wondering about you. But if she comes back and sees you still stuck in the same routine, still complaining about the same problems, still projecting the same insecurities, you've proven to her that she made the right choice by walking away. That's what most men miss. No contact isn't a timeout. It's transformation, and it's in the transformation that your true power is reborn. There's a version of you that's so magnetic, she wouldn't dare ignore you. A version of you that doesn't need to say a word because your growth speaks louder than anything you could ever text her. That version isn't built by waiting. It's built by working, every rep in the gym, every early morning, every hard decision you make. Those are the bricks that rebuild your masculine frame. And here's the thing, when she sees you again, or hears about you, or even feels the shift through the silence, she won't just see a man she used to know. She'll see a man she underestimated, a man who didn't just walk away, he rose, and that's what haunts her. That's what sticks, not the silence, the evolution. So don't just go no contact, go all in on yourself, because the silence alone won't make her miss you. But becoming the man you were always meant to be, that's something she'll never forget.